Hold on to your tweets, folks, because things just got real in the world of social media. Brazil, the land of samba and sunshine, decided to throw some shade at Elon Musk's X, formerly known as Twitter. It all started when a Brazilian court told Musk to play by their rules. Musk, being Musk, basically said, "Nah, I'll pass," and that's how we got ourselves a good old-fashioned tech standoff. Now you might be thinking, why is Brazil so fired up about X? Well, they've had their fair share of problems with misinformation and hate speech on the platform. Remember the whole thing about the Amazon rainforest fires? Yeah, let's just say X wasn't exactly helping to put out those flames. So Brazil decided to take matters into their own hands. This isn't just about Brazil though, it's about the bigger question of who gets to control what we see and say online. Is it the tech giants, the governments, or should it be us, the users? Buckle up because this is going to be a bumpy ride. Let's set the scene, shall we? Imagine a Brazilian courtroom filled with lawyers in sharp suits and the faint scent of coffee in the air. On one side, we have the Brazilian government, armed with a court order that says Musk needs to appoint a legal representative in the country. Their argument, X needs someone on the ground who can respond to legal requests and make sure the platform is playing by the rules. On the other side, we have Elon Musk, the self-proclaimed free speech absolutist. Musk, known for his Twitter tirades and disdain for authority, wasn't about to back down. He argued that appointing a representative would be like letting the Brazilian government censor X. And Musk, being Musk, doesn't like to be told what to do. So what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Well, in this case, Brazil decided to hit Musk where it hurts, his wallet. They slapped X with a hefty fine and threatened to make it even bigger if Musk didn't comply. Talk about a high-stakes game of chicken. Remember that court order we talked about? Well, Musk basically ignored it. And the Brazilian government, not one to be trifled with, decided to take things up a notch. They issued a nationwide block on X, making it virtually inaccessible to millions of users in Brazil. That's right, folks, no more tweeting, no more scrolling, no more doom scrolling. Now this isn't the first time a country has blocked a social media platform. China, Iran, North Korea, they've all done it. But this case is a little different. Brazil isn't exactly known for being a repressive regime. They're a democracy, just like the good old US of A. And that's what makes this whole situation so interesting. It raises some big questions about the balance between free speech and government regulation, even in democratic societies. Section 4. A familiar play censorship in the digital age. Let's rewind the clock a bit, shall we? Remember the Arab Spring? Social media was hailed as a tool for democracy, a way for people to connect and organize against oppressive regimes. But somewhere along the way, things got complicated. Governments realized that social media could be a double-edged sword. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing a growing trend of governments around the world cracking down on social media. Sometimes it's about stopping the spread of misinformation. Other times it's about silencing dissent. And then there are the cases where it's just plain old censorship no matter how you slice it. The internet, once hailed as a bastion of free speech, is facing a new reality. Governments are realizing that they can't just ignore what happens online, and tech companies are caught in the middle, trying to balance their commitment to free expression with the demands of governments. It's a messy situation, and there are no easy answers. Section 5, Free Speech on Trial, a Global Dilemma. The big question here is, where do we draw the line? On the one hand, no one wants to see hate speech, misinformation, or calls for violence running rampant online. But on the other hand, who gets to decide what's acceptable and what's not? Do we really want governments dictating what we can and cannot say on the internet? This isn't just a theoretical debate, folks. It has real-world consequences. In some countries, people are being jailed for their social media posts, journalists are being silenced, activists are being censored, and it's all happening under the guise of maintaining order and stability. So what's the solution? Honestly, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that this is a conversation we need to be having. We need to find a way to balance the need for online safety with the fundamental right to free expression. Because once that right is gone, it's not easy to get back. Section 6. The future of the internet. A regulatory tightrope walk. The internet is at a crossroads. The Wild West days of unfettered online freedom are coming to an end. Governments around the world are realizing that they need to step in and regulate the digital realm, just like they regulate the physical world. But how do we do that without stifling innovation and free expression? It's a tough question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. What works in Brazil might not work in the United States and vice versa. But one thing is clear. We need to find a way to create a digital space that is both safe and free. This is a global challenge that requires global solutions. We need to work together to create a set of international norms and standards for online behavior. We need to hold tech companies accountable for the content that is shared on their platforms, and we need to make sure that governments are using their power to protect our rights, not to infringe upon them. The future of the internet, and perhaps even democracy itself, depends on it.